Condolences. My name is Conrad. I'm joined by Pseudo, and I'm here for one set to tell you a story. So right. Jack and I are fixing Jack's controller, and we fix it. You know that the triggers are cool, triggers are good. Jack, can you turn my volume up, please?
Yeah. Let me turn your. Oh, that's
triggers are good, and we're hand warming, and someone comes up behind us and says, "You fellas know how to jump a car?"
It was Alcoda.
It was Alcoda.
Yeah.
I got it.
Sure.
And I think, ah, shit. And I say, no, I don't know how to jump a car. And Jack says, Chris might know.
Oh, yeah, well, that was the first person I thought of, because he talks all the time. He's like, yeah, I fixed my car today.
Right.
Right. All this crazy mechanic shit.
So,
like, so he must know.
So we stand around and we get Chris. And Chris says, does anyone have cables? And I say, I have cables. I don't know how to use them. And he says, all right. So I go to get my jacket. I come back to Chris and Alcoda walking outside, and I just hear Chris saying, no, it's super easy. All you need to do is remember red means dead. And Alcoda looks at me with this scared look, and I'm like, it'll be fine. So we go outside. Chris smoking a cigarette, sort of standing around with his hand on his hip.
Real mechanic-like.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my car. So I run across the parking lot to the other parking lot, get my car, pull up, and experience my favorite thing that I think my new favorite thing, which is Chris lecturing teenagers about something. So we pull up to this car, and I'm like, so which one is it? Is it the Mazda or the Prius? And they say it's the Prius. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So we pull up, and Chris is like, all right, show me the cables. He's like, how long are they? And they're not that long. It's like, ooh, it might be a stretch. So we send one of them to go look for the owner of the car. Chris turns to the other one, not Alcoda, but Alcoda's friend, and says, so remember, what order? And I shit you not, the kid is standing there and goes, so black, dead, and Chris is like, no, and he said, red, dead. Chris is like, yes. And he's like, why?
Dad,
and the guy's like, because it's the ground. And Chris goes, because it rhymes. Because it rhymes. Red means dead. Remember that. And he's like, all right. So the kid comes back, and we can't find the owner of the car, so we keep making announcements. Chris is like, all right, let's get this thing open. So Alcoda is sitting in his car trying to find the hood release. It takes forever. Chris is just like wiggling his fingers around under the hood. Nothing's working. We start to worry it might be electric. Finally, we find the lever. Finally. It takes like 5 minutes. And so we pop the hood. Pop the hood. So Chris finally pries the hood open, and we stare at it. We have no idea what's going on. In the background, there's a light flickering around, and it's the light of Alcoda's trying to stare at the paper manual in the year of our Lord, 2020.
Hey, that's important.
This poor kid.
You never know.
This poor kid looking at the book manual with his friend using the flashlight.
I read the manual when my phone's dead.
Let me finish. This will be important later.
Sure.
Staring at the manual using their phone flashlight. So
you guys play on if you want.
So Chris says, all right, the trunk's open. He props the trunk open. He's like, Connor, where's your battery in your car? And it's the front left. He's like, all right. So I wiggle the car around, and Chris is just staring there with this look on his face. And he says, I can't find the battery. And we're like, what? He says, I don't, is this a hybrid? And we're like, yeah, it's a Prius. And he's like, I don't know where the battery is. So I get back in my car, move the car, come back out, and there's still all the kids are huddled around this book. I pull out my phone, and in 15 seconds, just say, it's in the trunk.
Wait, it's the trunk?
Yes.
That's where the fucking... Okay.
So we're like, okay. So I move my car towards the trunk, and Chris is trying to find the trunk release. And he yells, hey, pop the trunk. He's like, how do I fucking open the trunk? That was sick, Chris. Oh, and Alcoda says, I can't. It's electric. It's from the key, and the key isn't working.
Oh, that's funny.
And so Chris and I just like look at each other.
There has to be a...
And he's like, all right, well, get in the car. If you found the hood, find the trunk release.
Yes.
So they climb in. They open up the book. I Google it in like 30 seconds. It's like, all right, look. And so I start walking them through the directions. At this point, Chris is like, it's fucking cold out here. So I give him...
Sorry, I want to interject. For the non-Illinois, and I don't even know how cold the rest of the Midwest is, for non-Illinois people, it is like 1 degree out right now.
Yeah, actually.
It's so
Chris is standing
cold.
out there in what he's wearing right now. He didn't even have another coat.
Yeah.
With no gloves. So I have double layer gloves, so I pull out my thin gloves for myself and give him the thick ones. And he's like, all right, this is better. So we're standing around, and they're like rummaging around in the back of the trunk trying to open it up. And finally, I find some directions online. And so I'm like, all right, pull back the carpet. They pull back the carpet. And I'm like, turn this knob 45 degrees.
Seriously?
Yeah.
What
to lift the carpet. So they did all this shit.
What?
So they do all that, and then Jack, can you turn my volume up? I can hear. I can hear everyone.
Not really.
All right.
How's that?
Yeah,
Is that better?
Yeah, it's better.
Okay, cool.
So we're just standing around, and I don't tell anyone this because I'm too worried and I'm too upset already.
Okay.
But this website deadass says how difficult it is to open up a Prius trunk.
God.
So we're just standing there freezing our asses off.
Why don't you just go through the back of the seats?
You can, that's the point. But there's no release on the inside. You need to pull up the carpet, open the toolbox. So we like have to pull up this plastic shit. Literally just throw the plastic like covering the thing. Because like, oh, there's a spare tire too. And so we finally Alcoda finds the trunk release. We're like, oh my god, sick. So we pop the trunk. Finally find the battery, and Chris is like, this is such a weird looking battery. And we're like, why? He said, well, the contact point is like covered in plastic, and I can't get it off.
Oh no.
He said, so I don't know if we're
That's
going to get a
fucked.
good connection.
How's that work?
And so he says, well, I mean, what we could do is one of you just hold the red one to the battery. And I said, wouldn't we die? And he said, no, there's some rubber on it.
Red means dead?
He said, there's some rubber on it. And I was like, that's so fucked up.
Wait a minute, I thought red meant dead.
Yes, it does. And so Chris is like, well, either we hold it there or I just clip it to this thing and hope we get a good connection. And so I was like, just do the second. Just run it. So we do that. He says, he hands me the black one and says, Connor, when I give you the go, clip this to this metal thing right here to ground it. And I'm like, all right. And so he goes in, he's like, all right, go ahead. So I clamp it, it starts sparking, which is, to be expected. But it doesn't stop sparking. And so I let go, and it's still going, and Chris is just sort of staring at it. It's one of the kids, I swear to God, says, it's still sparking. And Chris is like, yeah, I don't like that. So he goes and he takes it and he's like waving the thing around. And he's like, where's some other fucking metal I can clip this? He's like, maybe here. We find like one angle where it won't spark. Sick. And Chris just looks at me, holds up the cable and says, yeah, just hold it at this angle or else it'll spark. And we don't want that. And I was like, thanks, Chris. So he says, so now we're going to wait. We're going to see what happens. And if the car starts, then we will then take the cables off in the reverse order, which is, and he looks at like all three of them are just like staring blankly. He's like, well, yeah, which is,
Class.
One of them is like,
fucking Ferris Bueller.
black, red. He's like, yes. Okay, great.
Voodoo economics.
So we're standing there, and I said on the bright side, Sean is playing on stream.
You got time.
So you have time.
Take all the time you need.
So we're sitting there, we try starting the car, and nothing happens. And we're like, did the engine chug? Did it turn at all? And they're like, what? I was like, Chris is like, did it make a noise? And they're like, what do you mean? And Chris just goes, did it go, or did it just go? And they're like, it didn't do anything.
Probably doesn't even do that.
Yeah, because it's a Prius.
Oh no, that's fucked up, dude. They're silent killers.
Yeah, this whole time Chris has been bitching about hybrids too. The whole
Dude,
time.
this is a
He's
real,
like, I'm never getting
This is a
back.
real dad story, huh? That's
So-
like shit. You're talking to your dad.
So, meanwhile, Chris says, go get in your car, and rev the engine a bit to speed things up. So I get in the car and I put the gas down. My phone vibrates, which is odd because I never have my phone on vibrate. Until I realized that we've all traded phones somehow. So I'm like, wait, do you have my phone?
There's like some fucking.
And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, give me back my phone. Take yours. I don't want it.
Okay.
And so we give it back. This will be important, I
I'm
swear.
gonna say what's the. I'm curious to see what the punchline is. Not punchline.
We try starting the
Benji
engine a few
wins
more
this one.
times, and nothing happens. And Chris says, "Look, I'm gonna give it till the end of the cigarette, and if it doesn't work, he's like, do you have AAA or something?" And he's like, "Yeah, I have AAA." And Chris is like, "I would advise just calling them. They'll tow it, it'll be fine."
Right. Oh,
He said, and they'll reimburse.
All right.
I'm almost done with this story.
Go another game. Fuck 'em.
We keep trying, nothing happens, and Chris just said.